Welcome back to the Business Book Club. Today we're diving deep into a real cornerstone of financial wisdom, a book that stood the test of time, The Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, this was fascinating. Written by George S. Clason way back in the 1920s, but it feels like it could have been written yesterday in some ways.
Totally. And it's not some dense textbook, right?
Yeah,
It uses these simple stories, parables set in ancient Babylon.
exactly. Babylon, which was, incredibly wealthy. And the book uses these stories to teach what it calls the basic laws of money, how to get it, how to keep it, and importantly, how to make it grow.
And what always gets me is why Babylon was wealthy. It wasn't like they had gold mines or forests everywhere. It was an arid valley.
Right. No natural resources to speak of.
Right.
Its wealth was purely, as the book says, man-developed. Built by engineers, sure, but also by, well, the first financiers. That know-how written on clay tablets back then, that's what we're tapping into.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward.
Yep. We want to pull out the core principles, the really actionable stuff from these ancient tales, and show you how they still apply, maybe even more so today, especially if you're running your own business or just trying to get your finances sorted.
Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation, the cornerstone principle. It comes from the story of Arcad, the main character who goes from being a poor scribe to, well, the richest man in Babylon.
And his mentor, Algamish, the moneylender, he gives Arcad this incredibly simple, yet kind of revolutionary idea.
Which is
A part of all I earn is mine to keep. Simple.
very.
Sounds simple. But Algamish pointed out the flaw in how most people operate, didn't he?
He did. He said, look, you work hard, you earn money, and then you pay the guy who makes your sandals, you pay the person who makes your clothes, you pay your landlord, you pay everyone else.
But not yourself.
Exactly. You pay everyone except yourself.
So the book gives a concrete rule for this, a number.
Yeah, it's very specific. Save at least 1/10, so 10% of everything you earn. Put it aside first. And the really powerful insight, I think, is the psychological bit. Arcad finds that when he actually does this, when he squirrels away that 10%,
He's no shorter of funds than before. It feels like magic, but it's not.
it's just that our spending habits adapt, right? We somehow manage on the remaining 90%.
Precisely. It's almost automatic. If you decide you have to save that first coin out of 10, you just figure out how to live on the other 9. You don't really miss it in the same way you'd think.
Whereas if you wait until you have extra money to save,
Forget it. That day never comes. Because what we think of as necessary expenses just magically expands to eat up whatever we earn.
that first bit you save, the book calls it the seed from which your tree of wealth shall grow. I like that image.
It's a great metaphor.
Yeah.
And having that growing pot of money, even if it starts small, it gives you this rich feeling, as the book
Ah.
puts it. It actually motivates you.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of control, of progress, which is way better than feeling crushed by bills.
Totally. It changes your whole mindset. You own a piece of your future right away.
Okay, so step 1, pay yourself first, 10%. Got it. But life happens, expenses pile up. How do you actually make room for that 10% and protect it?
Well, that brings us to the practical methodology. The book calls them the 7 cures for a lean purse. Basically, 7 rules for getting your financial house in order.
Let's hit a couple of the big ones. Budgeting always feels like the elephant in the room. Cure number 2, right?
That's the one. Control thy expenditures. And it tackles that problem we just talked about head on.
The problem being that our wants become our needs.
Exactly. The book says our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless we actively fight back. We confuse desires with actual needs.
So the solution is budgeting. But doesn't that just feel like, I don't know, putting your finances in a straitjacket?
Yeah.
Sounds miserable.
Yeah, it can feel that way.
Yeah.
But the book argues it's the opposite. The budget is supposed to be a tool for freedom, not slavery. It forces you to be honest. List everything you want to spend money on. Then figure out what's truly necessary and fits within the 90% you're allowing yourself to spend. And
Then comes the hard part.
then you ruthlessly cross out the rest. But the goal isn't just to deprive yourself. It's to, and I like this phrase, show up the leaks from thy purse.
So it's diagnostic. Find where the money's dribbling away unnoticed.
Precisely. And by doing that, you actively defend that 10% you've committed to saving. The budget becomes its bodyguard.
Okay, I can see that. It reframes it. It's about conscious choices for a future goal, not just cutting back randomly.
Exactly. Now, another cure that helps control future expenses is cure number 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment.
Owning your home.
Right. The idea is that owning your home rather than renting forever significantly cuts down your long-term living costs. Plus, it provides stability, a sense of security.
And that security frees up mental energy and eventually actual cash for other investments, presumably.
That's the logic. Reduce your fixed overhead over the long run.
Okay, so we've got the saving habit, the budget to protect it. Maybe we're even working towards owning property. But to really make that save 10% grow significantly, we need more income in the first place.
Which leads directly to cure number 7. Increase thy ability to earn.
How did people in ancient Babylon do that? Akkad was a scribe. How did he up his game?
By becoming exceptionally good at his job. Through focus, concentration, and improving his skills, the book really emphasizes mastering your craft.
So Akkad practiced carving clay tablets until he was faster and better than almost anyone else.
Yep, he made himself more valuable. And because he was more valuable, he could command higher pay. His skill increased his earning power.
And that's timeless, isn't it? Whether you're coding, selling, managing, whatever, the more skilled you become, the more you can potentially earn.
Absolutely. The book stresses that your desires for improvement need to be strong and definite, not just vague wishes. That determination fuels the hard work needed to get better.
Okay, so we're earning more, saving consistently, managing expenses. Now we have some capital building up. The focus shifts, right?
Correct. It has to. From just accumulating money to protecting it and making it work for you. That's where the 5 laws of gold come in. Think of these as the rules for investment and risk management, Babylonian style.
And what strikes me here is the emphasis isn't on hitting home runs or finding the next big thing. It's very conservative.
Extremely. Security is paramount. Look at law number 4. It warns very clearly the gold slippeth away from anyone who invests it in businesses or purposes they don't understand.
Or who follow advice from the wrong people.
Exactly. That's illustrated by Akkad's big early blunder. He gave his hard-earned savings to Asmur,
The brickmaker.
the brickmaker, to go buy rare jewels in Phoenicia. Seemed like a great deal.
But Asmur knew bricks, not jewels, and the jewels turned out to be worthless glass.
Classic mistake. Trusting someone unskilled in that specific area just because the potential return sounded good.
So the lesson is, don't get financial advice from your plumber, basically. Unless your plumber is also a certified financial advisor.
Pretty much. Seek advice only from those who are wise in its handling, as the book says. Protect your principal first. That's rule number 1 of investing, even back then.
Okay, protect the principal. Then what?
Then, according to law number 2, you put that gold to work. It should laboreth diligently for you, multiplying like flocks of sheep. It needs to reproduce.
Compound interest, essentially. Letting your money make more money.
Yes, but there's a catch. Another mistake Akkad made early on. Algamish tells him off because Akkad took the first profits from his initial investment.
And threw a feast. And bought a fancy tunic.
Yeah, scarlet tunic. He started spending the earnings immediately. Algamish called it eating the children of his savings.
Huh. That's brilliant. It's the same temptation today, isn't it? Get a bonus, immediately upgrade the car or the house. Lifestyle creep.
It's identical. The law is, let your capital and its earnings work together and multiply for a good long while before you start skimming off the profits for luxuries. Build the flock first.
These principles are so fundamental. Okay, beyond the mechanics of saving and investing, the book also talks a lot about mindset, doesn't it? Things like luck and dealing with setbacks.
Oh, definitely. Take luck. Lots of people feel like they just have bad luck, that fate is against them.
But the parables kind of push back against that idea.
They really do. They argue that good luck can be enticed by accepting opportunity. Luck isn't just random chance falling from the sky.
It favors the prepared, the person ready to act.
Exactly. The real villain isn't bad luck. It's procrastination, putting things off, hesitating when an opportunity comes along. The book says, men of action please her best, her being Lady Luck.
So luck is really about recognizing an opportunity because you're prepared.
Yeah.
And then having the guts to actually seize it, not just waiting around.
That's the essence of it. Action defeats procrastination and invites luck.
And what about when things go wrong, like debt? That feels like the opposite of luck for many people.
The book tackles debt head-on with the story of Davasir, the camel trader who fell deep into debt. His story is about regaining control, about shedding the soul of a slave, as he calls it, that feeling of being owned by your debts.
And he comes up with a very specific plan, the 10-70-20 plan.
That's the one. It's a budget specifically for getting out of debt while still building a foundation.
Okay, break it down. How does it work?
It's tough, no doubt, but the commitment is key. First, 10% of all earnings you keep for yourself.
Wait, even when you're deep in debt, you save first.
Yes, that's crucial for rebuilding your self-worth and proving you can accumulate wealth. It changes your mindset from debtor to saver. Then 70% is for all your necessary living expenses. And this requires discipline, maybe some serious belt-tightening.
Okay, 10% saved, 70% to live on. That leaves 20%.
And that 20% is divided honorably and fairly among all your creditors. You contact them, you explain the plan, and you start paying them back systematically.
It sounds incredibly difficult, living on 70% while paying off debt and saving.
It is difficult. But the power isn't just in the percentages. It's in the act of taking control, having a plan, and sticking to it with determination. Dabasir found that once he committed, his creditors actually became allies.
Because they saw he was serious about paying them back.
Exactly. And it led him to that great realization. Where the determination is, the way can be found. The commitment itself unlocks solutions.
That's powerful. It puts the agency back with the individual, even in a tough spot.
And one final point on mindset, the value of work itself. Sharunada, another character, emphasizes that work isn't just something you do to survive, it's your best friend.
How so?
Because diligent, skillful work is what attracts opportunities in the first place. Doing your job well earns respect, builds reputation, and ultimately leads to more chances for advancement and earning. It's the engine of progress.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this for someone listening, maybe an entrepreneur or someone just wanting to get ahead. What are the absolute must-do actions from Babylon?
Number one, without a doubt, implement that 10% rule. Pay yourself first. Make it automatic if you can. That's non-negotiable.
Got it. What else?
Second, master your spending. Use that budget methodology, the 90% target. Figure out where the leaks are and plug them to protect your savings. Control thy expenditures.
Makes sense. And for investing?
Be cautious. Guard your treasure. Don't chase quick riches and things you don't understand. Seek advice only from people with proven expertise in handling money. Protect that principle.
And that mindset piece.
Crush procrastination. When a real opportunity comes along, act. Don't delay. Be a person of action. That's how you attract good luck.
So boiling it all down, it seems like financial success, according to the Babylonians at least, isn't really about genius ideas or timing the market or getting lucky.
Not primarily, no. It's methodical. It's based on simple, consistent habits, saving regularly, controlling spending, investing cautiously, working diligently, and acting decisively. The laws of money are presented as being as reliable as, say, the law of gravity.
They just work if you follow them. That's the core message.
Wow.
And just like the ancient city needed strong walls for protection.
We need our own financial walls today.
Exactly. Things like adequate insurance, an emergency savings fund, reliable, understandable investments. We can't afford not to have that protection in our financial lives.
Okay, here's a final thought to leave everyone with, something to chew on.
All right.
Think about Babylon again. They built unimaginable wealth, literally created it out of nothing in a barren desert. All they had was human ingenuity and these strict financial disciplines we've talked about. So if they could achieve that, starting with so little, what are the real limits on what you can achieve today? With all the knowledge, tools, and global opportunities available now, something to think about. If you found these ancient lessons valuable, make sure you subscribe to the Business Book Club. We do deep dives like this into timeless business and financial wisdom regularly. We'll see you next time. Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.